there is always more than makes the eye. This same saying is consistent with the camera system. The camera in and of itself can only do so much without the lenses. Actually can do nothing but digital blur. So today I'm going to be sharing with you 3 prime lenses that I use whenever I shoot a video. And it starts right now. Hey, Sam here. Welcome to my channel. I am not your typical tutor. What I use and how I use it in the course of my journey here, I simply share with you, hoping you can learn from it. If this be your thing, please subscribe to this channel and hit the bell notification so you don't miss another video from me. Without out of the way, let's get started. This is the 24mm lens. The Canon 24mm lens f2.8 has an EF mount, and it has a very tiny size. It's like holding a piece of pancake in the palm of your hand, which makes it a perfect match for those who travel a lot and don't like to carry a lot of weight. So if you're a traveler out there, this is probably a very perfect fit for you. It's one of the most underrated lenses out there in the market. It's very light, and the price point, surprisingly, it ranges from 140 to 200 depending on what platform you're purchasing it from. As you can see, the angle is wider, and then there's hardly any blurry background with my setup here, so you can see the difference. I just pick what works for me. If you're like a musician, someone who plays guitar or who plays guitar recording yourself, I like to use the 24mm lens because then I want to really be up close to my fingering on the fretboard of my guitar. The shots are cleaner with the 24mm lens, but when I try that with the 50mm or the 85mm, the compression is usually much, depending on my distance from the subject. When I come closer to this one, I usually don't get that flattery look. Things actually start to get distorted. My lips become heavily endowed. When I come closer to the lens, I'm going to pretty much be distorted in a way because of the wide 24mm lens. However, what I termed distortion is not that bad compared to some other ultra wide lenses that I have used in the past. Even talking about the fact that I don't get so much shallow depth of field with this 24mm lens, I'm able to actually work my way around it. So what I do is that I come a little bit closer to the camera once I mount the lens, f-stop to 2.8, which is the lowest I can go. Whenever I'm able to achieve a blurry background with this 24mm lens, it's usually cleaner, and it's not every time that I like that heavily compressed shallow depth of field. However, you need to understand that Canon seems to be shifting from the old EF lenses to the new line of RF lenses for their entire ecosystem. Needless to say that is pretty expensive for a lot of creators out there. There is something you can use called the adapter you can use in the interim before you get your line of RF lenses. This is, by the way, there is a lovely weather out there. I can see through the window right now. So I'll just flip it around so you see. Again, without changing anything, this is the Nifty 50, like they like to call it, the 50mm lens. As you can see, I'm a lot much closer without changing the spot of the camera. I am positioned at the exact spot as I was when I used the 24mm lens. Now I have a bit of a blurry background, but you can see a little bit less than you saw when I was using the 24mm lens. It's just a matter of choice and what works for you best. This also works for me. I'm actually using the Canon EOS R6. It's pretty versatile. Like I said, you want to close in on your subject, it's pretty good. It can handle it. You want to actually back off a little bit and still be able to get a decent image. It has you covered. It's pretty lightweight. It fits into your traveling bag quite neatly without adding so much weight to all your other accessories. And price point is very good too. It's between 200 to 300. It's also an EF mount. After the nifty 50, the next is the 85mm lens, and I'm going to put that right now. This is the 85mm lens. All hail the king of shallow depth of field. Is the Canon 85mm lens f1.8. The bokeh of my background is a lot more compressed. As it has to do with my YouTube video, I switch between the nifty 50 and the 85mm lens. These are my go-to lenses. What are yours? Please share your thoughts in the comment. Let's have a bit of an interaction. Until another video, don't forget the best time to create is now. This is Sam, and I am signing out. Peace. Ooh, ooh, come on.